What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of U4 New Pinning and Stocking. This is episode 2, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spider.
Yeah. It pretty much follows up on the same episodic nature as all the other episodes, from the first season. Um, unlike the first season, which mainly focuses on Penny and Stocking. Um, of course, they bring in like a couple new characters, which is of course the Demon Sisters, Scanny and Knee Socks, which is pretty much almost like they're polar opposite versions, of the. I mean, unless you can really call them the heavenly versions uh, of the characters, but yeah, it's just so it's split into like
Yeah, I almost feel like that's the
yeah
joke, is that,
yeah
yeah.
so so the episode is actually split into like two different parts. Like the first half, like titled "Bitch Girls for Life." And another thing I would want to point out is like some of the of the episodes, um I don't know, the episode names of of uh the names of these episodes are like spoofs for different movies that we've seen over the years. Like the first episode is called Panty and Stocking Homecoming, which is similar to Spider-Man Homecoming in a ways. Um
I actually didn't notice
yeah,
that.
and then Bitch Girls for Life is like a play.
Yeah.
It's a play. It's a
Bad
play
voice.
on Bad Boys. Um, I don't know about Bodyguard. It's yeah, but we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, you know, first half is just like we pretty much get to see like Penny and Stocking, just I guess they're trying to settle in with their new I guess their new housemates, Scanny and Knee Socks, and of course Garterbelt. Well, he gets a call from like the Demon Lord, telling him that Scanny and Knee Socks need to, I guess, work together to get these these hell coins, or whatever they are, I guess. So they and plus they get these like weird messages. I think, um, like Penny and Stocking got something called water, and then Scanny and Knee Socks get a second message, called oil. Now they didn't know what to make of it at first, but then they go to a diner which their friend Brief works at, and then Stocking like comes up with an idea, thinking that it has something to do with literal water and oil, just like um for people that worked in a restaurant, like if you pour water into a hot fryer oil, it'll just bubble up uncontrollably, and not in a pretty way. So they do just that, and it just causes like immediate chaos, and then it just starts putting everything on fire. And then they try to fix it by pouring I think a cup of water into the fire, but it makes it so much worse, and it just immediately summons like this fire and oily type of demon monster sort of thing. And then of course Penny, Stocking, Scanny and Knee Socks end up I guess powering up to take this thing down, and they immediately they all just work together to destroy the combined spirit, and rewarding both sibling pairs with like one coin each, with like Penny Stocking getting the heaven coin, and the Scanny and Knee Socks getting the hell coin.
Yeah. And I also thought it was funny how they, like, also with the first episode, how they sort of like splice in like live action footage of the I guess of the ghost being destroyed. And,
It's I'm
uh,
kind of glad that they finally that they actually did bring that back. Like I was a bit curious at
yeah.
first, but yeah, it was kind of a running thing, like which they defeat a monster, and then they get like almost like a live action, like sort of puppet, or like kind of like model of the
Yeah.
thing, and they just blow the damn thing up, which is funny. Um,
I Yeah, and for some reason the town has like multiple weed dispensaries.
yeah,
'Cause,
yeah,
yeah, when the diner, I guess, catches fire, I think it ends up like blowing up one of the weed dispensaries,
Like
and
they,
it's just
okay,
like
so what happened was like Brief gets thrown under the bus, and the police are about to arrest him, and then somehow, yeah, like you said, one of the weed houses ends up catching fire, and everybody around town starts, um, starts, start
ingesting the weed.
yeah, they just start flipping out in such comedic way. Like strangely enough, like you know, Penny stocking, standing in knee socks, and everybody else, like somehow don't get affected by this, but they just just
I guess because they're not
no, I
human.
mean they just go home and calling it a day afterwards. Um, and then
Yeah.
of course we get to the next uh part called body card. Yeah, this part just gets it's hard for me to describe it. It's such a in a more appropriate manner. Uh, so okay,
Well,
so
it's essentially like kind of like making fun of not just like mainly I guess Magic the Gathering, but also like they throw in like Yu-Gi-Oh references, and other stuff like so basically from the as a result of what happened in the last episode, there's all this debt or all this money that Panty owes to the town for having basically destroyed so much of it in the last episode, and she has to find a way to make this to make this money just to sort of like pay it back.
technically it wasn't
so
really her fault. It's just that
well, yeah,
yeah,
but I guess it gets blamed on
yeah.
her.
So like if I'm finding a way to make up for all that money, Brief gets her a job to work at a trading card game store. I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to believe that you can really make up that much money. Like, what was it, $3 trillion just to pay off that much damage by working at a trading card game store? And so
Yeah.
come across as like a customer who brings up like this Blue Eyes White Dragon spoof card called the Blue Eyes White Uncle. And supposedly it has enough value, conveniently has enough value to cover for all the damages. But they can't just simply ask for the card. Like they have to win the card. So the person that owns the card immediately ends up losing the card to this mysterious hooded figure, and now Panty has to play a game against this mysterious figure just to win the thing, and then it just gets into these weird, it's just gets into these weird shenanigans of like how they end up playing the game, but then like, okay, so Panty plays his card like it's just
It's like it's kind of like a weaker version, I guess, of the Blue Eyes White Uncle. It's like a really weak uncle
okay.
card.
Um,
It,
okay.
it's the card is like the like the defecating uncle or whatever. But it's not really a valuable card. And they try to play it, I guess, against the they try to play that card, but then the mysterious figure that it turns out to be like a ghost pulls out the Blue Eyes White Uncle and tries to use that against them. But then they in order to like to fend off the attack of the Blue Eyes White Uncle, they pull out like this like what was it like he's some kind of like essentially like it's a let's just say it's a phallic simple card.
Yeah,
It's a phallic card.
It's a D card, of course.
Yeah, and apparently when it's paired with the defecating uncle, I guess it's powerful enough to fend off the attack from
By rolling a 100 side die, which conveniently lands on the 100 mark. And then like she just wins the game straight up, and then like she wins the card, but then she finds out right then and there that the card suddenly just gets reprinted and loses its value, and then Penny sells the card to to
You know,
Brief.
it's surprisingly realistic in that sense. It was valuable like an hour or so ago, I guess, and now it's not valuable
Yeah,
anymore.
but then like she conveniently convinces you know Brief to buy the card from buy the card from her like for
If
$3 trillion.
she throws in
And
if she throws in her
yeah,
panties.
like it's hard for me to believe that Brief really had that much money to begin with. Uh,
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Where'd he get all that
yeah,
money?
and
Because
then
I
and
mean,
then she gets the money, and then only to squander the money just buying like a shit ton of like designer clothing, which also ends up pissing off Garterbelt and Stocking in the process. Is like
but
you got all this money, but then like what
well, apparently now she also somehow owns a company too.
uh yeah, I don't know, like unless that's a way for her to make
I
up that kind of
I
money
guess so.
again and then pay it off or something. But
Yeah,
it's just like that's the episode. I mean, I mean, like it's typical Panty and Stocking fashion. Like they just keep going through ridiculous lengths just to like how far like the show is willing to go just to get you know just go through these ridiculous levels of absurdity.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I like the episode. I like how it doesn't. I mean, I guess yeah, it really doesn't have a plot. Right? I don't know if maybe it seems like maybe later on season one might have had a plot.
Well,
But so far like
okay,
this doesn't
so
really.
the main plot was back in season one that Panty and Stocking were supposed to collect all these gold coins, these heaven coins,
All right, yeah,
just
yeah.
for them to get themselves back into heaven. And then like they have
Mhm.
this whole case full of those coins, and they're asking like we collected all these coins, like why can't we already go back to heaven? Is it like and Garterbelt really can't answer the question because like he doesn't even know why either. Because he said now he's just saying like it's almost like these things are almost like a collector's item, for whatever reason. But then they get another coin, and who knows what they're gonna end up doing with it. And honestly, like
Yeah.
the main point of like the first season was to collect those coins and get back into heaven. But now it just seems like all their efforts is just almost rendered pointless, and now we're having to deal like whatever whatever shenanigans Penny and Stocking along with Candy and these socks of what they're gonna have to do, trying to defend the city with all these ghost demons or whatever these things are relating to heaven and hell,
Mhm.
I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I mean, it's pretty similar with the last one with how just ridiculous it got. And just I mean the obviously like the whole series just has this like sexual like raunchy humor, and there was of course plenty of that in this episode too. But yeah, I mean I like that, and I also like I actually didn't catch the references like the ones you pointed out. So I thought that was interesting that there's like all those like references in there. Um, but yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I guess a lot of people that watched the first season are, if they're watching the dub version, which Amazon kind of defaults to, I mean they might have like mixed feelings about the new dub cast. But I was kind of like I wasn't sure how to feel about them at first, but I mean I guess I've kind of grown on me a little bit more after like having watched this episode. But yeah, maybe people that have watched the first season in the dub, maybe it might take them a little bit more getting used to the new dub cast. But I don't know. I think they sound okay.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Um,
it's a 15-year-old series, so it's obvious like
yeah,
it. I mean, it's hard for them. It's hard for me to believe like that they would have like I don't know, the resources for them to get back a lot of them old cast members. Maybe they could have, but I don't know. I'm more.
it could also just be because it's like we said in the last episode review that it's like Amazon and they have like a different
Yeah,
dub studio that they work with or something, and maybe that's what it is.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, they
uh,
could have just just left it all in Japanese and left it there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, there are certain shows like on Amazon right now that are just that are just only in Japanese language and no dub altogether. But it is like one of those few instances in which they do decide to bring in a completely new English cast for the show.
Yeah, but I don't have much else to say about the episode, though. I don't know if you have anything else to
Yeah,
say
it
about it.
was it was a funny episode. Like a lot still like enjoy like all the raunchy humor that they keep throwing in there. Like I'm curious to like and plus like with the addition of with of Scanny and Knee Socks being into the main cast. Like I'm curious of like rather than focus on Penny and Stocking, maybe we'll get like a like almost like a like an episode dedicated to just Scanny and Knee Socks for once.
Yeah. Um, and also just, I mean, it'd be interesting, I guess, to have the dynamic of them and Panty and Stocking and some more episodes and I guess seeing how like how their relationship develops. I guess considering they were, I think like they were like antagonists in season one. I think. So and I guess now that they're working together, it'll like make things interesting. Uh, but yeah, I guess that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.